not. Yes. Thank you for reminding. Yeah.
Oh, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Sriya and I'm from Andhra Pradesh. So, I'll just show you my journey and CoVersity concept together. Basically, CoVersity is for the youth who are 14 to 21 years old, like me. Um, so, I've been part of CoVersity from last June, and it's a cell. In CoVersity, each person drives their own journey, drives their own way of learning, and everything else. I'm specifically interested in designing. My interest is designing, and I wanted to pursue it further, learn more about designing because that was really interesting for me. And that's how I chose one interest. And in designing, I felt I should explore more. And I didn't know what to do. Like there are many different branches of design, and I didn't know which would suit for me. And that's when I chose one particular branch at each time and deep dived into it, learned more about each different branch that I liked. And then I've been doing that for over 6 months. I've did a logo design, I've did a kitchen interior, I designed a board game, and like these various branches of design I've explored. And after 6 months, I've realized when I've reviewed that designing is something I really love doing. I want to continue doing. So then I took a choice that okay, let's go further into it. Let's learn more about it and do many different things that I want to. And it's not just me alone. I also have buddies with me, the cohort buddies, who always challenge me, support me, facilitate me, and work along with me. Especially there was another person with me in the particular design branch who is Krishiv, and we did few projects together. And in that, his perspective is entirely different. He is into comic, graphic art, or character design, and I'm into entirely different things like UI, user interface, or user experience. At that point of time, it was really challenging for us to come to a common ground, but we also learned different perspectives. He would share his perspective, I would share my perspective, and then we would try to look at things in an entirely new different perspective. So that with that we got to know different things, and we could see things in a different way too. And it was really challenging, but we learned a lot from each other. And also other cohort members too. It's not just we support each other in the professional way. If one time when I felt really overwhelmed with all the work that I had, and that's when the whole buddies came together and kind of comforted me, or asked them for suggestions on anything else, they share it with me. So we have general talks and professional challenges together. And I also work to learn. I have taken few challenges in particular to my domain, which is to shoot design thinking videos, which is I wanted to observe design everywhere around me, particular thing one at a time, and I've recorded them. There are many videos that I have recorded, and I've also initially I started off with questioning different things around me, and then I went into basics like the elements of design and the principles of design. So I took up challenges for myself, and I earned to learn. It's not, I did few client projects where I did earn a little amount. I did 2 logo designs, and I'm also doing a current project on website design. All 3 of these are paid projects. And I've also did a workshop for the world to share about t-shirt graphic designing. So it's not just that I only learn, but I also learn with the earning. And with that, I also get to interact with different people, and my clients have been my mentors in a way. With them, I got to learn how to interact, how to convey the ideas which I have properly, and many other things. And it's we can also I intern to learn. I have personally not did any internship in the industry, but the other cohort members have done internships in their particular domain, and their experience have been amazing. They have got to know how the real world works, how the industry works when you really go into the particular industry. So yeah, that's also another possibility. And I'm also work certified. It's not that I have any particular degree certificate or any course certificate, but my work, the work which I did is my certificate. I built a portfolio, like not just me, all the other cohort members have built portfolio for ourselves. And the recent the recent project which I've told is the website. I got that project only after the client seeing my portfolio. I've approached him and then I've shared my portfolio with him. And that only after he liked my portfolio, I got the project. So that's also a way of certifying myself. And in CoVersity, it's not just about professional journey or professional development. We also focus on self. We focus on self-leadership, interdependence, living skills, and relationships. Every week, we have one timing set for this. We discuss on various things that's bothering us or something we want to develop in. Maybe it may relate to our emotions or dealing with different people and many other things. We also have mentors in CoVersity. I personally have talked to different people in the design industry to know about my to know about various things related to designing and to get to know answers for my questions. And I've also read few books related to my particular domain. And we also are supported by buddies, the cohort buddies, guides, and community. Aarohi community is of more than 40 plus members or families, I can say. And obviously, our parents are also guiding us since childhood, and they also continue to guide us in the professional journey. If not really particularly into profession, they help us to develop our self, personal self. So we are supported by various people. And there are also different possibilities in which I can take my career or profession ahead. I can either do an entrepreneurship or a job, freelance, or I can self pursue. For now, I'm not so clear about what I want to do in the next, but I know that I have different possibilities ahead of me. I have the confidence that whatever I take up, I can go well with it. I can learn anything. And we also have in the website of CoVersity, we also have a page called Highlights of CoVersity. And for now, I'll share what I personally love about CoVersity. And that would be applying immediately. I do projects, and for that project, I learn a lot. I research, I read, I talk to people, and a lot of background works take place, all in theory. And then I get to implement it immediately in the project and also deal with the clients. So this learning and immediate implementation is something that I really love, which helps me to correct it in a very short span of time. So that's my personal highlight in the CoVersity. So to experience CoVersity, we also have a 1 week boot camp happening in the Aarohi campus. Already we are done with one boot camp, and we have two more boot camps coming up, which are from 17th to 20th of April and 12th to 17th of June. So yeah, this is about in a short form.
Thanks, Shriya, for sharing. Right, so we are open to questions or thoughts related to not just CoVersity as a concept, but related to this whole journey of which many of us go through when we were young, and now these young guns are going through their own journey, right? So yeah, you can ask questions or share your thoughts about this whole journey and how we can create this journey for ourselves. And if you have specifically question for Shriya, you can ask that. I hope she will answer it. But you can ask anything in general or just discuss anything in general about open learning and about doing this through CoVersity, our own journey. Yeah, please go ahead. We can open, or we are open for discussion.
So I think by the time others would think, can I throw one question, Sriya?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so the CoVersity, I see it as, alternative to probably college thing. And college life is not only about study, it's like more about, having fun, hanging around with friends and fun, those kind of things also. So does CoVersity offer that too? As a group of people, can you be like, have fun, or it's like too serious thing?
No, we do also have fun. Till now, all of us, when we were in campus, we had loads of fun with working as well as general talking and making fun of each other, dancing and whatnot. We had loads of fun when we were in the campus. Even on online, sometimes we just come in Zoom and just talk or have fun or watch something. We do have both of that. We work as we have fun with working and also not working.
So bonds are really created in a way, like, we say college mein friends bane ya school mein friends bane. So CoVersity mein bhi friends bante hai. It's not just CoVersity serious.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
And also, you're not just surrounded by CoVersity members, but you have a whole community that is in with you.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Bala. I have a question. So I think Shreya spoke about design as her focus area. Similarly, what are all the areas that one can focus within CoVersity? Is that a limited list, or I can pick up any passion and do?
Yes, you can pick any passion as long as you want to make it your profession or get into an expert level. So
it's not like if you pick
a specific list or a prefixed list of domains that people can deep dive into. Yeah, they can choose according to their interest.
It's also not like once you picked one interest, you like for years you have to do that only. You can explore your interest for 6 months and then review it. If you feel like okay, this is something I want to do for a longer time, you can go ahead with that, like me. Or if you feel no, this interest doesn't suit me and want to explore some other interest, so then you can explore another interest for next 6 months, so on.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to add to that. The point that Shriya has brought in is very important, because a lot of us, even at this age and definitely at a youth age, are still not clear what we want to do in life. We have multiple interests. So CoVersity becomes a very interesting way to understand and explore oneself by, going one by one, deep diving into my different areas and finding out for myself what is it that I want to spend more time on, right? So that's a very important aspect of CoVersity, because otherwise we feel we are just we don't know what to do and we just end up doing something. So that's given that kind of an exploratory space. Yeah, sorry, you can continue.
Agree. No, yeah, just a follow-up question. So if the chosen domain is very niche and let's say the community doesn't have experts in that, let's say, or if it's like too complicated, like let's say any hardcore engineering, let's say aeronautics or kind of complex things, can we chase one such complex ideas? Second, ideas where the community currently doesn't have expertise in.
Yeah. Uh, like we can always, even in my journey, I've approached different professionals who are not part of the community. I've reached to professionals in designing field which I'm interested, and also community helped me to connect with the different professionals in the design field. So finding a mentor in that particular field is not really an issue. We can connect with people with the community we have, and even generally when we can approach to the professional who can identify that I'm passionate about a particular domain, they would help to know more about it.
Yeah, to add to that, so possibly you didn't kind of get it in the presentation, but we have two sections of people. One is the domain experts, or what we call as mentors, which can be anybody from the whole world, which is definitely nothing to do with the immediate community. The community plays the role of guides. So we have two things, guides and mentors. And I hope you're able. So guide doesn't need to be from your domain. Like all parents are guides for their children, but they don't need to be from the child's domain. My son plays football. I don't need to be a footballer to guide him. But when he needs an expert, he goes to coaches. Right? I hope that example clarifies. And the coaches are definitely not part of community. So the community isn't trying to say that we will fulfill your domain needs. The community is trying to say, or the CoVersity is trying to say, you fulfill your domain needs, right? And we will guide you how to find mentors. So we will not find mentors for you, but we are there with you in your journey to find mentors. Mentors could be a book. Mentors could be somebody who runs something. So it doesn't need to be even an alive person. Somebody has written something at some point of time, 100 years back, can be a mentoring for me, can be a guide for me in terms of my domain. Right? So the world of mentors is very vast, and it comes in different forms and shapes, as well as the beauty that we have seen is that when we approach people, not from any other perspective, but saying, I am really passionate about X and you are an expert in X, can you mentor me? The good news is that almost everybody says yes. The reason they say yes is because the relationship of a mentor and a mentee is of the common passion. That's the real thing that works for them. So that's how it works. I hope that kind of clarifies.
Understood. Yeah.
So community is not getting into being a domain expert, not at all. That's not even required. There are enough people.
Ratnesh, I have a question again. This is my child's interest. They kept on changing for several times. It's as usual as any other child. Now, of late, the interest is more towards biology. In that too, I sense now chemistry also. And that too, recently, he is more interested in human biology, which is like it may come towards medicine is the doubt that I am getting. By the way, he is watching and learning new things and everything. If that is going to be medicine side, then going through this open learning, he cannot pursue medicine, right? He need to go through so-called academics to get into that. Is there any other way, or should he go through the regular curriculums to Regular curriculums means academics designed by somebody to go through and become a doctor or whatever he wants to become. Or is there any other alternative to do that?
Okay, so the question is less about this way or that way. It's more about what does he want, not in terms of this way or that way, but what does he like doing? Right? Does he like studying, or does he think that yes, I would like to, within quotes, treat patients as a, let's say, a doctor? Then it makes sense to go and get a degree in doctoring and MBBS or MD, and then there is no, why do we don't even need to discuss that. But that is not the only way to understand human biology, for example, right? For example, nutrition, that itself is a huge field. There's so many people nowadays talking about food as being the medicine, when we're not like in terms of treatment, but in terms of what we eat and how the body responds. That's just one part of it. Just giving you one example. There is this whole thing about physiology and how our body works and how even we are, So I'm just saying there is a very vast field when you think of human body. Doctor is one aspect. If he's really interested in that, there is no issue. If he is interested in other aspects, so that's something that he will have to discover. Right? Any which way in open learning, he can become anything that he wants to. That's not an issue. The idea is to really know what is it that I would like to do, or what is my real interest. Yeah. So interest is something that he will have to explore deeper and deeper to realize what he wants to do.
That's where the dilemma is there, because I don't know what it is going to be. As of now, it is appearing to be more towards that.
So Pranav, it's not about dilemma. That's exactly, I'm saying the dilemma is a good news. Let's not look at it as a problem. Let's look at it as an opportunity for each of one of us. Whoever is having a dilemma, should I do this and should I do that? I will say do both. As in, do one for some time deeply, then to try another one for some time deeply, so that you can discover for yourself which one. And if you have 5 such dilemmas, please try 5 things. Isn't that what life is? Isn't this the beauty of life, that I can actually go into 5, 10, 200 different things? Or like Sriya, only one thing. Even within designing, she has explored multiple things. So what I'm trying to say is, this is not a dilemma. This is not a problem. This is an opportunity for each youth to spend his or her time deeply with things which he or she connects with, to discover for himself. There are enough 30, 40, 50 years old who don't know why they are doing what they are doing. Right? I would rather spend time now intensely into different things to know what I want to do. And even that also, if I later change at 25, 30, 35, 40, that's all right. Life always doesn't need to be only one track. So some people are multi-track people, some people are one-track people, and so on. Right? So I don't see that as a dilemma or as a problem. I see it as a beautiful opportunity for us to explore ourselves and the world around us.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we can do is, I don't know how many people are youth here, but what we can do is we can create some breakout room, at least one breakout room I would like to create. And all the youth here can go into that breakout room. So if a parent and child have together logged in from one device, okay, you might need to log in from 2 devices, because then the youths can go, the young guys can go into the breakout room, which I'm just creating, and I'm calling it itself. Just let's call it 14 to 21 for now, just so that. But somebody who is little less than 14 or little more than 21 can go, but all the others can stay in this room, and let them have a little discussion amongst them. And I would say, let us parents, I'm calling as us parents, we can stay here in this main room and continue our discussion. Just giving them space to connect with people of their own tribe, if I may call it that way. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we can continue our discussion. Sorry, I'm just giving time for while the youth can just join rooms. Yeah. So anybody has questions, thoughts?
Hi Ratnesh, Ishwari this side.
Yeah, hi.
I have one question. So we are in UK.
Mhm.
So this cohort can we join only physically, or is it like happens online also?
Well, well, as of now, no, it's not really online, because I think the intensity and see, one of the thing about CoVersity is the co part. That's why it's called CoVersity, is the togetherness part. And that really, really happens when they are physically together. At least for a substantial amount of time, if they've spent let's say a year together, then maybe later on, if somebody wants to be for some part of the time online, that's okay, because then the relationships are already, the buddies have already built the buddiness. So yeah, right now, not really. We haven't really looked at it online. Maybe few years down the line, we may be able to do that. I really don't know, but right now, yeah, it's more like physically coming together, living together. Actually, it's not just even coming together, it's literally living together for some months and then going out to work and then again living together and then going again out to work. So that's the cycle that we have.
Okay, I have another question. So my son is now he's going to year 9. So here they
Mhm.
call it GCSE. So he has to choose his subjects now, like for to write the GCSE exam, which will happen after 2 years. He has to choose the subjects now, and like as of now, I don't know what his interests are. He even himself doesn't know what his interests are. The dilemma, I mean, yeah, as you said, it could be an opportunity, but for me, it is still a dilemma. Like, say if I choose
Yeah,
something now.
so to kind of put it that way, that yeah, I mean, that's a funny constraint the world puts, which I really am. I would love to debate endlessly with the world as to why that funny constraint that I have to decide and only do that. And the kind of constraint we went through, I also went through this whole thing that after doing my 10th, I had to decide, no, why can't I just pick and choose and create my own life? And why does it even need to be from those few things that are on the table? Why can't I do embroidery for a year? Or why can't I do trekking for a year? I mean, why is that not a subject? Uh, so absolutely, that's exactly what we are questioning. We are saying, hey, why do we need to follow it if that doesn't appeal to us? If somebody likes it that way, absolutely fine. There is a system, please go ahead and embrace it. But if you want to live the way you want to live, then just live the way you want to live. You don't have to follow something just because somebody else is saying you have to do it that way.
Yeah, right. I think I'm not ready with that, because if after 2 years, if he suddenly changes, no, I want to study this, then he has to redo everything, or I don't know.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
so we're still figuring it out, like whether
yeah.
should we follow the system or go on our own.
Yeah, more people. It need not be about CoVersity. You can talk about like how she's sharing about your concerns with this journey of, let's say, the professional life, if I may call it. Not just concerns, your thoughts, your experiences. Santosh is sharing how he doesn't need to have one passion. His passion is to explore different things and do different things. I would say, so Santosh, I would say you have a passion, just that it doesn't have the real word of passion. You have the passion of doing many things. So I think, yeah, we can chit chat, discuss about how in different ways we can live our lives actually. And I think what Santosh has shared makes a lot of sense, that in the sense it tells us that life isn't about just fixing one path and walking through it. So many of us have changed from what we did, so-called college degrees, and actually have moved away from it and created our own professions or different professions. So that means, why can't we do that and give that option to our children, our youth? Why do they have to necessarily get onto one single train and say, no, I need to travel this way only? Meaning if you're okay, somebody doing it at 25, 30, 35, 40, why not doing it at 15? When they have all the energies to do many things. Yeah, so more thoughts, questions, concerns, sharings, especially if you have done that, if you've changed your life from what you earlier kind of so-called qualified for, and then moved away from it saying, hey, hello, I don't want to do this, I want to do what I want to do. So you can share. I think that itself is very inspiring to hear.
Just discussing, no question. I think broadly, I think these systems have evolved over time, and there are constructs essentially to help us. I think at least in India, it's about, hey, getting to a path where you can have like a steady state of income, right? That is sort of looks like one of the purpose why the system exists and why we all push our kids into the known and familiar paths where hey, when you finish this or when you complete this, you will get whatever Y income, right? That's how we push our kids, right? So although we say we have to let kids pursue the passion, the monetary aspect still remains important, right? So what is your view on that?
My view is that the monetary aspect is something which we can anyway reach. It is why are we saying X will give us Y? Meaning
This is established. X will give us Y. Is established.
No, I want to challenge that. It is not established. It is not at all established. If you look at the numbers, if you look at the figures, the amount of people who have in today's world, even engineering degrees and even all kinds of degrees, they are not, let's say, there in terms of earning even, or even jobs for that matter.
Yeah, we have overdone it. Yeah,
sorry?
Yeah. We have overdone it, right? Like, yeah.
I don't know whether it's overdone or whatever. What I'm saying is just because we have constructed it in one way, I think it's an outdated system is what I would call it. Just because we use typewriters doesn't mean we don't move on to, let's say, something else like a smartphone. I know that analogy may sound very cliched, but it still holds. Meaning the system was built for an industrial factory system. Meaning that's what we say. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the system. I'm just saying by itself, this system does not guarantee anything. In fact, it doesn't even guarantee happiness. So if I'm saying, yes, I want money, but not necessarily the kind of satisfaction I want, then what it is. And then look at the number of people who have actually shifted away from what they got from their certification. I would say 50% of the world, even like people like me and you, are not necessarily in the same field what we got qualified from. Then what is the point of that? I would have rather done what I really like doing. Now, if I anyway have to change away from it, move away from what I was qualified for, then how does it make sense? Yeah, I would have rather that somebody else would have done what I was doing in the so-called education system, who really wanted to do that. So like somebody was saying, he really wants to be a doctor. Okay, go ahead. You be in the medical profession, not because the money it gives, but because you really like doing it. And somebody who isn't there for the real joy of being a doctor would rather do something that he likes doing.
Yeah, and agree on the part about doing what you like, but I was talking about the baseline. Let's say you need to feed yourself. The people who depend on you.
I'm not too sure. What are we scared of? Are you scared of that our children will not be able to feed themselves in the sense of being reasonably well off, let's say economically?
Yeah.
They are far, far more capable of that. That is
Mhm.
what I am. Okay, I can only share my experience. I am in awe of this, let's call it whatever you want to call them, as youth or children and their capabilities. I'm in awe with them. The kind of commitment they bring, the kind of work ethic they bring, the kind of intensity they bring is just amazing. It's amazing because they are able to do what I was not doing at that time, at that age. They're able to think in that way. They're able to create in that way. Where are we talking about possibilities? We have, they are the ones who are really embracing and hugging those possibilities. And they're the ones who are the next innovators in terms of not just what to do, but how to live. Now, does it need to be this construct only? So somewhere, if we want to operate out of fear of scarcity, oh my goodness, there is very little money in this world, go ahead, make the best of it, get into the best of the things, then that's one paradigm to operate out of scarcity and fears. And there's another paradigm of abundance and possibilities and opportunities, like how Santosh has mentioned, so many different things he has done, some failures, some success. How does it really matter? What really matters is what I'm doing, and if that matters to you. So the invitation is, Bala, to see if we would like to relook at how we are even living our lives in the sense of the constructs that we have. Have we simply adopted that construct, and now we are saying that is a base construct, because that's the word you use. I think we need to challenge it. Is that the base construct?
Yeah. No, I agree with
I would disagree
yeah.
with that. It is
Yeah.
not a base construct. It is one industrial format. Good. It is good. It may have its value, and people who want to do that, great. I have nothing against it. But I'm personally saying I'm against calling it the base construct, because then we are defaulting to that's the only way to live life.
Okay, so yeah, maybe the terminologies were wrong. When I said base, I meant yes, sort of established and all that. Like I agree with you on the whole. Hey, I'm also not doing what I studied, and I also pivoted. Everything what you're saying holds good. Not denying on that. I'm only it's just looking at some extreme examples. Let's say we see examples for everything. Let's say people who are passionate about, let's say, film career or as an industry. We see them. They are like super passionate, but you hear often stories about making the ends meet, right? Like sort of stories you hear, right? Like on the one hand, people, let's say people who are pushed into engineering without a choice, whatever, living a reasonable life, right? So you also mentioned about happiness. I think money is also one factor for happiness, because when you look around, you tend to look around and you put yourself, you always compare yourself against people around you, and that's the measure of happiness, isn't it? Like that's also a measure of happiness. So yeah.
Well, if
So,
comparison is somebody's measure of happiness, fair enough. I have no issues with that. And yes, you do hear stories, but have you heard of all the other stories of people who are happily earning, enjoying themselves in the film industry? Have you met enough people? Have you met 10,000 people and said, oh, those 4 stories we heard, but what about the 9,000 or 99,996
I don't know.
stories?
Statistically speaking, it'll be the other way. People who
absolutely,
really
I would say most people
yeah.
in film industry who are passionate, who are into it, are making their ends meet and enjoying that also. It is, yes, there will be stories in any industry for that matter, whether it is engineering or whether it is medical or whether it is painting or whether it is gymnastics or whether it is films. There will always be stories both ways. Yeah. And yes, it's a personal choice. See, I'm not trying to say that everybody has to do that. If somebody feels insecure about it, if somebody feels, no, I need to get I think this will give me a safe monetary income and that's my first priority. Fair enough. Absolutely. I have nothing against that individual choice or that family choice. Meaning there is enough options for those people who have that as a choice. But I'm also raising this that, hey, is that what is, if somebody wants it, somebody wants to do what they want to do, is there that, okay, no, first you go on to this, then later on you can do whatever you want to do. I've heard this also. Why?
Yeah.
Why can't I do it at 14 or at 18 or at 20, what I want to do? And I can later on see if I want to go to a more conventional thing. So it can be the other way around. Why not? Why does it have to be constructed this way only? Yeah. That's and not that this has any specific advantage to it. In fact, people find it difficult later on to change their field because they've lost their tenacity of doing it. While when one does it, so that's one of the things we talk about in CoVersity, that when you deep dive into one field, let's say for some time, let's say a year, yes, you will develop professional skills. Yes, you will develop domain skills, but what you will really develop is yourself. Then anything else is just so doable. Again, I'll give you my example, or rather my son's example. He's into football. He only plays football for the last 5 years. He has not done any of the base things that you talk about. No 10th, no 12th. He's illiterate in the eyes of government, if you want to call it. And if you ask him that what would you like to do in the future if football does not give you enough money, right? If you're not a great player who goes to those heights and earns lots of billions of dollars, right? Which incidentally, he's not even the top guy in his field, in his team and so on. So he's not like the shining star, not at all. He's a good average player and he enjoys playing football, and that's what is important to him. But if you look at it from my perspective, if somebody can commit and do something for 5 years with that kind of intensity, I think that person has now grown so much insight that he can tomorrow go into any field, put in that kind of effort, because he already knows how to put in effort. He already knows how to slog from 5 o'clock to late in the evening, practicing, doing things and so on. So any other field he chooses, well, I'm sure he can forget meat and he can do whatever he wants to do in whichever field. So it's also to do with how we develop ourselves in the whole process, and not kind of look at, oh, somebody will give me some job which is worthwhile for my money needs. Yeah. So that is the power which we develop inside. We have a saying that, a bird is not afraid on sitting on a branch, because it doesn't matter whether the branch breaks, because the faith is not in the branch. The faith is in its own wings. So we are talking about developing those wings so that whichever branch we sit on, we can work through that. And that is what to me is far more important in today's dynamic world, where things are changing, jobs are changing, streams are changing on the go. There's not even a surety of what my job I'm doing tomorrow, ChatGPT or AI will do.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's just one example.
Very,
So it's even more important that we not get domain swayed, rather we develop ourselves as individuals, right? So, and not because the economy is like that. I would say that's a lame reason to do it, because it's so much more joyful. I would say that, and we keep talking this with my son. Hey, the day this joy is no more a joy, you can just call it quits and move into something else. But till it is a joy, man, enjoy your life fullest. And it's not the easy life. It's a lot of effort in gyms and practices and drills and matches and losing matches and winning matches and losing more than winning and sitting on bench when you are not selected. So it's not an easy cakewalk at all. Sorry, I can go on like this, but yeah, it's a choice. Finally, it's a choice. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's great, and it's very inspiring. It's also about breaking all these psychological barriers. Like say again, I'm a parent of a teen, so I worry about two things. Of course, I want my kid to be happy, right, and I also want him to be economically also reasonably okay, at least. So that's the second part. Like you said, yeah, am I afraid? Maybe I am, but yeah, I don't know how to be, how to get to the state of mind that you are in? If you could help me on that.
I don't know how to do that. All I can say is I keep saying this to at least myself. I don't really necessarily say it to too many people, is that, hey, what do we want to gift our children? Do we want to give them fear, anxiety, concerns, or a perspective of that, a paradigm of that, or do we want to give them a paradigm of passion, intensity, joy of doing something? Yes, things may not work out the way you want, but that's what life is. Of adventure, literally, the biggest adventure we are living, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Let me add one more small thing. I'm using this, and which is why when we are doing this work in CoVersity, and this is a request to all the people who are there in the call, is that we are saying, hey, we don't want to just talk about this CoVersity concept to youth of already the well-to-do families. Yeah, we would like to invite every youth, whether he or she is in a village, he or she is in a, let's say, a socially or economically less advantaged space in a city or wherever. I hope you're getting the sense. We're talking about all kinds of youth getting this opportunity to live their passion and not simply do some school or college and end up with some job just because that's what the society has to offer to me, just because I'm kind of born there or been there, right? So that is the request to all, and I've opened the breakout room also to all to see if we are not just thinking about us, we are also thinking about all the youth out there, and see how we can reach all the youth and say, hey, you have an option. And in CoVersity, we want to give that option to every youth, whether they are in a village, whether they live anywhere in this part of the world, but right now, the country for that matter. And we would like people to help us in reaching out to people who could be, let's say, not as exposed to options in this world, not as economically advantaged, that they can, think in terms of, or they may be more worrying about quick earnings because their family needs money, their economic status is like that. So we want to give everybody this option. So that's something that we are very, let's call it, passionate about. Yeah. Okay. The people from breakout room are also back, and Srijini is posting some important links, and she's reminding me to start a small poll. So that's a request for everybody to also, there's a small poll which we have posted, if you can respond to that, as well as we have about 8-9 minutes, so we can still discuss more. So great that, Bala, you're bringing these questions and thoughts, because that's where the churning happens. Yeah, and if you have more thoughts, Bala, we can continue. Sorry, I just took a little break to bring in this perspective that we are not just talking about one kind of youths or one kind of families, but everybody possible. And we need as a CoVersity help of all of you to reach out to those youth.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ratnesh. I think this was super useful. And sorry, I already took a lot of time.
No. Your questions were very valuable. I think a lot of people are thinking about that, so it's valuable. Yes. Yeah, and you can ask more. We still have about 8 minutes to go. So we have these meetups till 7. And we have
Sir, your questions are many people's questions, so you don't need to worry about taking time. You are asking others questions too.
Absolutely. Yeah, meanwhile, if you can see the poll, please do also choose the poll and or rather respond to the polls. That just helps us to understand where are people. Yeah, meanwhile, we can have some people haven't really shared much. So if you would like to share or ask, I'm just looking at the participant list. We have Brinda, we have anything, Srijini, from the breakout room, what all you guys discussed? You want to share, you want to summarize what you all did, because you were in a secret room.
Yeah, we just kind of talk to each other a little got introduced to each other about based on our interest, and kind of little shared about our concerns, and also a few questions that we had in this whole topic of making our passion into profession thing. So we also talked a little about ourselves, like what me as a person is. Yeah, that's what we did. It was fun, and like getting to know about each other.
Yeah, that sounds more fun than what we were doing here.
Of course it was.
I have one question to the children. Okay, the youth. So I'm sure your parents wouldn't have agreed when you said you want to do this. So if anyone like to share your experience, how you convinced, or what made you continue this journey?
Well, my father, in my case, my father was the one who was really interested into this, and with through him, even I got to interest too. But my mother wasn't really convinced of this concept, and me, my father, my sister took. We had lots of discussions on how I felt, how I see my profession as. So we had various discussions on many things. I had lots of confusion. It's not like I was very clear. I wanted to be part of CoVersity. I had lots and lots of confusions. Why, like this, we were discussing just how now we were discussing about various things. That's what we did. We discussed with the community, with the family, and then through discussions, we decided that I want to be part of CoVersity.
Well, my thing was way easier. Sriya is my sister, elder sister. So obviously she did all the convincing part. So I'm like, I'm also going in. Tata bye bye kind of.
The experimental kid is me, so I do all the hard work and she just comes in with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so I got to know first CoVersity from mouth to mouth conversation and reels. So I wanted to volunteer and join CoVersity. So that is why what I did was I like talked to my mom about there's something called like CoVersity and these things. And yeah, so she was also very interested that about this CoVersity. So yeah, so she's that is how I joined CoVersity. I didn't have to put any effort like Sriya did. So I just needed to tell her, like inform it, like I needed to give her information that this is there, and then it all sparked up itself. It's like my mom is the cracker and I just lit the cracker. Done.
That's a very interesting analogy.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all that needed to be done, and I did that. So now we're both very interested about CoVersity. Yeah.
Okay, so we are almost at 7. Any one last, we can maybe take a small question if somebody has. Srijini has already posted the links, and I hope people have responded to the poll. Do take out time, please. There are more people, so yeah, please do respond to the poll. That would help us. And the CoVersity website link also Srijini has posted. If you still want more one-to-one discussion, so we do meetups every Thursday and Saturday for CoVersity. So, but if you want more one-to-one discussion, you can connect with us, and we can do that. We can help you if you need some discussion. If you, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
The online meeting link is the same link for every day.
Yeah.
I mean, like every Thursday and Saturday, the same
Yeah.
Zoom link.
You want to mention about the bootcamp also, the purpose of doing a bootcamp?
Yes, the purpose of doing bootcamp is to come and experience CoVersity and see what it does to you. So it's like a 1 week long program. You can come along as a family and experience CoVersity.
Yeah, it's more like a trailer to CoVersity. So the youth will join when the CoVersity for or the CoVersity format for 1 week, do some real intense work. We just had a boot camp last week, which ended yesterday. And well, all I can say that these guys did a lot of work. What came out of it is something, I guess it's not the output, but what it did to them. So that was the beauty of it. So yeah, we have 2 more boot camps scheduled, one in April and one in June. If you want to taste CoVersity before thinking of joining this kind of an experience. And yeah, so that information is also there on the website. Plus you can ask us if you need it. And finally,
one last request, Ratish, can I just...
yeah, Pranav, you have 1
We
minute.
would also request other families, the family, like people who have joined here, to probably spread the word to other families who have children in this age group, so that they are just aware of the option. So it's not about doing something or just choosing CoVersity, but just that they have an option, they can explore it. That's it. So inviting them for such meetups. So that's the thing. So please do spread the word.
Yeah. For us, it's more of letting the youth know that they can actually build or craft or create their own journeys, and especially spreading the word amongst the not so exposed section of our society. I'm putting it that way. So help us reach out to more and more people across different areas. So that's once again a request. Yep. So it's 7 o'clock. We can pause here. And we'll meet again on Thursday, and then again the next Saturday. And in between, you can get in touch with us. So thank you.